Welcome back to another episode of the Pickle Pulse. I am your host, Brian Green, and today we are going to get to talk about Paddletek, the TKO-C Christian Alshon. Now, this is the shorter handle of the two that are offered, and this is also in the 14.3 millimeter width. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, I also wanted to let you guys know that I'm giving away a ruby. So this is one of the rubies that I used to review it about 6 months ago, and I wanted to give it to you guys. So how do you get this paddle? Let's see if I can actually get this on the wall without messing anything up. There we go. All right. Oh, it's crooked though. Hold on. So how do you get the paddle? Go onto this video and like it, and down in the comments, comment Ruby. All right. The other third thing you have to do is go over to my Instagram and then also comment Ruby on the Instagram post that I'm going to put up there. Through that, I will choose one winner in about 10 days, and I will ship this beautiful paddle out to you so you can start playing on your courts. So without further ado, let's talk about Paddletek. So Paddletek is one of the older companies. They were actually founded in Michigan in 2010. Cool fun fact, they came up with the honeycomb core that most of the companies are using out there. Now, I'm not saying that everyone is copying their core, but just the design of the actual core, Paddletek came up with many, many, many years ago. And they're still manufacturing their paddles here in the good old US of A. So for you people that really care about that, like myself, I like to buy local, I like to buy small business, and I like to buy US if at all possible. This sort of checks all the boxes. So Paddletek has really outdone themselves on this one in that they have created a paddle that performs really well in just about every category, whether it be pop or power, whether it be control or forgiveness. They did also create it in the traditional elongated shape, which is my favorite shape out there. So it's 16.5 inches long with a 5¼ inch handle, and it's 7.5 inches wide. All right. So what does that mean to you? Not much, unless you really like elongated paddles and you know that's the shape for you. For most people out there, what I'm always going to tell you in a paddle review is that know your game and know your play. At this point, there are tons and tons of really good shapes out there. There are tons of really good quality paddles out there, and that's at pretty much every price point. So the key to finding what is right for you is to hit a bunch of paddles and figure out what shape or what swing weight or what twist weight you like. But I will say for me, this Paddletek checked all the boxes. And the reason being is that the swing weight came in, let's see, did a little homework here. The swing weight came in at 123.9. All right, that's a skosh bit heavy for me. For most of my paddles, I'm saying they're going to be 118 to 120 at the top. But I didn't feel like this paddle was heavy in my hands. I wasn't getting caught at the net. And the pop and power really made up for the extra swing weight that I was having to deal with. The twist weight is 6.75, so it's a really, really stable paddle. And with resets, I was finding that this guy would get it back over the net again and again. Now, the one downfall is because it is a bit of a poppier paddle. I did find that as I was getting used to the paddle, I was floating a lot of my resets and getting my partner and myself smashed over and over again, and you'll see that in some of the videos. So let's talk about the specifications of the paddle. Each one is going to come in between 7.8 and 8.2 ounces, depending on the swing weight that you choose. So the cool thing is on the website, you can go there and it will ask you what swing weight you wanted. Do you want them lighter? Do you want them heavier? And then you can choose, and they'll try to get you the one that is best for your game. The grip circumference is 4¼ inches, and it is a squared off grip. Again, I'm going to pop it out there, show you the end cap here. It's octagonal there, but the actual shape of this bad boy is definitely square, which I like and I find is really good for like rolls and flicks and things like that. The grip length is 5¼ inches. I think I said 5.5 earlier, so if I did, I apologize. The grip length is 5¼ it's a T700 raw carbon fiber with a 14.3mm core. It's 16.5 total inches long with 7.5 inches wide. So your traditional long body. This paddle is awesome, guys, because I will tell you again and again and again that if you were a drive first person, you can rip this from the baseline. As a matter of fact, I played a little singles with it a couple of days ago, which I don't play a ton of singles anymore, but when I do, I enjoy it a lot. And I played against a guy that normally beats me, or we have really tight and close games. Using this paddle, I pickled him in game one. I was so on, and the paddle was ripping passing shots. And whether it be backhand or forehand, I could go cross court and down the line. I had a ton of fun. It's always fun to go up against a guy that you know is going to give you a good game, and then you play lights out. And just that experience with this paddle alone has caused me to basically put it aside and go, okay, no matter what, this is my singles paddle. So when I'm coming out, I'm going to warm up with it, and boom, going forward. The pop on this paddle is exceptional. And what I mean is, how hard does it come off of the face without me putting a lot of exertion into the actual shot? So the punches at the line, the rolls, the things like that when we're at the kitchen line, that's really where I test pop. Because when someone hits it hard at me and I just put my paddle there to block it, it's really nice to have some pop to push it back at them. This paddle did really, really, really well there. As a matter of fact, if I'm going to put, again, like a gearbox, I'm always putting gearbox at the top because it's one of the hottest paddles that I've hit. I'm going to put this at like a 8.5 on the pop spectrum. It's a little bit more than the Thrive, and it's definitely like 10 to 15% more than the 11624 Huarache X 14mm control paddle, which those are really the two paddles I've been playing a ton with. Compared to the Arrow that I just reviewed, it's got twice as much. This paddle is killer in control, but if you want pop and you want power, the Alshon is definitely one that you should look at. Now let's talk spin and control. So the Raw T700, I know it took Paddletek forever to get on board, but they dropped the Anna Lee earlier this year, which is a fantastic paddle. My only beef with that is the handle is so short, it's unplayable for me. But this carbon face, combined with their core technology, creates a really nice pocketing system. What I mean by that is when it hits the face, it pockets it really nice. You can feel it, especially when you're swinging hard from the baseline on those drives, and then it comes off, and you get lots and lots of spin from that as well. So the dwell time on the paddle and the core allow it to pocket it and push it back really hard and fast. And with the T700, the spin is exceptional on this paddle. As a matter of fact, trying to think, like Proton would probably be your top spin paddle, but it seems like they may be illegal soon. So I would put this again in like a 8.59 in spin. This is a top rated paddle really across the board. And the last thing that I really want to talk about is control. As I said earlier in the review, when I first started working with this paddle, I was floating some of my resets, but eventually I dialed it in and the resets were on. It didn't take me long to dial in my third shot drops, even though it was a poppier paddle. And the paddle feedback to me is so consistent and so solid. I would say one of the huge benefits to this is because the slightly higher swing weight, even though it doesn't feel heavy in your hand, it plows through the ball really, really well. And so therefore, no matter where you're hitting it on the face, it's really coming off quite consistently. I had a ton of fun playing with this paddle. I would say one of the drawbacks is it's a $230 paddle on their website. And so at that price, I feel like you really should get something that is exceptional. The good news is Paddletek hit the mark on this one. This is an exceptional paddle, and I would say is worth every penny of that $230. The one question mark that I have that I can't answer for you guys is longevity on this paddle. I have heard that some of them have been breaking, and there's been some core crushing and some other things that have happened to them. I will say that after playing with this one for almost 2 weeks, I've had no issues whatsoever. And I know that Paddletek is a great company, so if something does happen to your paddle, they'll certainly take care of it. Well, that does it for another paddle review. I think that as far as the paddles that I have tried this year, this Paddletek is going to be in my top 3 list. I would say the Thrive Azul, the 11.6-24 Huarache 14mm, and the Paddletek, I think are my favorite 3 go-to paddles for 2024. So take it for what it is. If you've enjoyed the content, please take a moment to just like and subscribe. If you want to win a Ruby, again, I'm giving this paddle away. This could be yours. It is in pristine shape. So if you want to win that, make sure to comment Ruby, go to my Instagram and also comment Ruby, and I'll pick a winner in about 10 days. Until next time, see you on the courts, guys.